Okay, Nalin Kohli and MR Venkatesh on one side, Rajiv Desai, Rahul Narwekar, Sanjay Hegde and Kumar Ketkar on the other side tonight. Implications of this. Let's start with the implications of this. First of all, tremendously embarrassing that in an Italian court, the Indian government is being pulled up for not cooperating in a big case like this. I mean, if the Indian government had nothing to hide, then Kumar Ketkar, why would documents not be shared? Why would documents not? What are we scared of in this case?
Why are they not sharing the documents?
Exactly, that's the point here. Why did the Congress government not share the documents?
But it is the BJP government which is not sharing the documents.
No, 1 second.
It is the BJP government for last 2 years has been completely quiet on this. So if they have some evidence and if prosecutors in Italy have some evidence, let them come openly, directly.
The 225.
I think this is nothing but systematic campaign.
Against whom?
Systematic campaign against some politicians, against the UPA government.
Which politicians?
I think UPA
if Indian politicians have been named as...
If the present government has only enemy in the world, that is UPA 2 or UPA 1,
no, that's
then
not.
I think this is being used as merely just nothing but persecution campaign.
How can there be persecution campaign? If some top...
Why the present government...
I can only say this, Mr. Kumar Ketkar, that these 5 Indian politicians who are named...
I don't know who the 5 politicians are, and you are not naming them. I don't care who they are.
You can go through the court records.
The prosecution statements do not necessarily mean conviction.
Sir.
That does not establish guilt. They may take any names.
Nalin Kohli on the other side.
After all, after 20 years of all the names that were taken in Bofor's case, Rajiv Gandhi was completely acquitted. And VP Singh used to flash the numbers in the Swiss banks.
This is big. You see, okay. Kumar Ketkar, 1 minute. Kumar Ketkar, I'll get Nalin Kohli.
At that time, the BJP and VP Singh and including the CPM used to flash names and account numbers. And finally, what happened? Everybody, despite...
I don't know, a lot of Italians get away now.
Despite the BJP government between 98 and 2004, despite 96 to 98, 2 governments of Deve Gowda and Gujarat in which...
So can I go to the others?
Nothing was proved.
Okay, I take your point. But now, can I...
There is no question of taking my point. So that does not mean whatever Augusta Westland has brought about does not necessarily mean that the guilt has been proved.
Sir, if prominent Indian politicians are named during... Sir, can I get a response?
Prominent politicians were named in Bofor's case also. But what happened despite the BJP power?
Kumar Ketkar, now let's get a response from the other side. My point is this. Prominent and viewers, let me say this. Those prominent
must be obviously the Congress persons.
These 5, I'm not saying it. These 5 politicians who have been named
must be
named as part of the prosecutor's report when he's interrogating Guido Hashke are top Indian politicians and one top Indian official.
Indian UPA politicians. Why don't you clarify
if prominent Indian politicians are named during a trial in an Italian court which covers the former head of Finmeccanica for corruption in connection with the VVIP chopper scam, should we just brush the news under the carpet and not follow up on whether they were involved? If Indian politicians are named as part of court records in connection with a case of corruption involving the sale of VVIP choppers, don't those politicians need to answer here? I mean, Italy is concerned, Nalin Kohli. Italy is concerned about whether an Italian company paid a bribe. We in India are not concerned about whether any Indian politician was given or offered or targeted for a bribe. And if an Indian politician was targeted for a bribe, then that Indian politician should take it upon themselves to come and tell us whether this happened.
It's utter nonsense.
What's nonsense? Court proceedings.
Arnab, you're talking utter nonsense.
Court proceedings.
You're talking utter nonsense.
Okay. Anything else you want to say besides nonsense?
The government of India scratched the contract. Italy closed the case. Why do you keep flogging a dead horse? You know, you may as well go back to the Mundra scandal of the 50s. You'll find more and more stuff every day.
You want an answer to
marching orders.
You want an answer to that? You want a logical answer to that?
Why don't you ask the question?
Rajiv Desai, you want a logical answer to that? You want a logical answer? Then let's have a deal. You'll have to listen.
Why don't you ask the question about Gujarat Petroleum?
Okay, Rajiv Desai.
What logical answer is that?
Rajiv Desai, listen, no.
There's no logic. You're flogging a dead horse.
Okay. I like flogging dead horses. Let's say that.
You're flogging a dead horse.
I like flogging dead horses. And may I tell you that when we were flogging the CWG horse, they said
nobody. Shaktiman is dead. It shows your saffron proclivity.
And Rajiv Desai.
Because they seem to beat up horses.
Rajiv Desai, let's not be trivial on this. It's been 6 years. It's been 6 years since this deal was cleared, and it's been more than 3 years since the investigation was handed over to the CBI. Why has there been no closure here? Why is it that the deal is still in its investigative stages in India?
What is going on and on? If you have to bring closure, bring closure to the Godhra riots. Bring closure to the Gujarat riots. Bring closure to the Gujarat petroleum deal.
You're revealing yourself, Rajiv.
What happened in Malegaon. Bring closure to Ishrat. What are you going on?
Yeah, that's exactly what we are trying to do. We are trying to bring closure to Ishrat. My question is specific. 3 former governors have been questioned in the Augusta Westland case by the Central Bureau of Investigation as witnesses. I think the people of this country now need to know what has been found and what has not been found. Nalin Kohli on the other side tonight. Nalin Kohli responding to the initial observations of Kumar Ketkar and Rajiv Desai. Nalin, and I'm asking you tonight, should the names of the Augusta Netas be put out in public? Viewers, you can tell me what you think. Yes, Nalin.
What is he going to say?
Nalin.
I have a few points to make, but given the beginning comments of Mr. Desai and Mr. Ketkar, perhaps there is something that is a worry for the Congress party, because this is Mr. Ketkar is an editor. So I think his desire to know the truth should probably be foremost.
Yeah,
I think that's the first lesson.
That is my still desire, and that's what
it's not about defending who BJP, might be a person. However,
BJP government to come out,
Mr. Ketkar immediately rubbished, because journalism. Mr. Ketkar, I didn't interrupt you, sir. Sir, I didn't interrupt you. I mean, let me finish.
I'm not interrupting. I'm just saying.
Now, let me finish my point, Mr. Ketkar, and I don't want to be shouted out.
Yeah.
Somebody else maybe, I don't know, but I have not spoken while I have heard everyone. So I just want to put my point. I think the basics, when I've taught journalism also, the first thing is that you may have an information, you may have a source that needs to be verified, but the idea to get the truth out is what's driven journalism. And that institution also played an important role in our freedom struggle. So I mean, not wanting to know the truth is a first. At least from an editor, it's a first.
You've done the headline, denies any wrongdoing. What is this nonsense?
But an editor, for me, it's a first.
What is it?
Number 2.
What is it you're trying to prove?
Number 2. Let's go to the issue.
You have got nothing to show.
Parts to this
there is no governance.
There are 3 parts to this issue. Now first is, who's this rude gentleman who is interrupting me? I don't have a TV in front.
Rajiv Desai is the
gentleman on the other side who's interrupting me. Who's trying to shout me down. I've not even made a point yet.
And you go on and on about this?
Mr. Goswami.
You can't have a point.
Mr. Goswami, I've not even made a point. Who's this rude gentleman? I can't see.
Why only the BJP can do this?
May I make a point? Thank you. So I shall now come to it. There are 3 parts to the argument. The first is that there is a conviction by a court in a foreign land. This is not an information leaked like WikiLeaks or by Snowden or anything. This is a conviction. A conviction and a court order which clearly minutes out what exactly are the charges and who's to pay. Next, the people convicted are paying a fine of some $8.5 million. Equivalent to the amount that was approximately paid in bribes. That means some money went out, and these 2 are willing to pay that and suffer a 4.5 year jail term. It's not going to be for some ordinary people. Evidently. 3.
These are all arcane.
In this conviction, between a full year, the government of India didn't have any interest to at all assist in this plot. Now the last point. Look at the double whammy.
Who is more interested?
We had at the helm one person who the Congress went out of its way to always say he was the... I said there is this rude gentleman on the other side of this noise. I'm not even finished speaking. What a rude person. Who's this person? I can't even see who keeps interrupting me.
Don't take us to be fools.
I don't know who's this very rude person, whoever it is. But I hope by the end of the show, some decency and decorum would be probably drawn in. So let me finish what I wanted to say.
Now we've learned to do
so the second point I was saying is that you had a certified Congress Minister for Defense, Mr. Antony. What has happened in his tenure? Ammunition for our soldiers was down to 10 days. You didn't even have ammunition stock. You didn't have procurement. You didn't have OROP. None of the things that matter to defense happened, but you had fast-tracked purchase of a stinking deal. just because somebody's pockets had to be lined. Now, what kind of approach is this? Whoever is the guilty, everyone should say, we want the guilty today, and we want no name bashing or anything.
Can I tell you that there was an acquittal earlier?
Sanjay Hegde. I'm surprised. Sanjay Hegde, no. 1 second. Sanjay Hegde, before you come in, because a lot has been said on this, and I would like to remind everyone today that it was exactly 1 week back on the Monday last when we did a news report on Ishrat files, and from Monday last we've been abused, called names, threatened, and all names were... And
today IB and CBI have been exposed in Malegaon case. And today IB, CBI and Kumar Ketkar exposed in Malegaon case. To trust IB, CBI or NIA
Kumar Ketkar, that is on the basis of the... That is... Allow me. That is on the basis of the evidence that was available and not on the basis of the evidence which has now been put out in public light. And now in the context of Augusta Westland, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this in the context of the Augusta case. Let me tell you in the context of the Augusta case the following 7 points. The viewers, you see, the problem, simple point is this. You see, last 1 week back, the Congress party, said there's no story here, there's no Ishrat file is not a story. Today, viewers go through the Twitter timeline of a person called P. Chidambaram, who used to be a minister, and you will find that all that P. Chidambaram is trying to do is answer for himself. Now, I have a few points to make in the context of Augusta Netas.
Every single point in the interview.
Right.
I don't think Chidambaram can
Which interview?
Chidambaram has given an interview to Business Line, and it is completely explained. I think
he should give an interview here, then we'll talk.
I mean, it is there everywhere it's public. It's on the net. It's everywhere.
One second.
And I don't think we can just go on and on condemning somebody without any strong evidence.
Kumar Ketkar.
Firstly, it is not
Kumar Ketkar, don't protest too much. And here are the facts. Here are the facts of the case. Today, Rajiv Desai and Kumar Ketkar are both saying, and if they may be polite enough to hear the facts for one minute, I may have a little bit more than they have on the story, because we've been following this now for 4 years. Viewers know this. You see, point number 1, a court of law has confirmed, and I'd like to get MR Venkatesh, Rahul Narwekar and Sanjay Hegde at this part of the debate. A court of law, just a couple of points please. And by the way, Sanjay Hegde, we are going to go into this in detail. It's only started. Firstly, a court of law has confirmed there was corruption in a VVIP chopper case. I think the people of India have a right to know. A court of law has confirmed there was an obvious element of kickbacks involved in the VVIP chopper case. The kickbacks were not being paid in Honolulu, they were being paid in New Delhi, so we have a right to know. The third point is, a court of law in Italy has found enough grounds to convict the then head of the major defense company Finmeccanica for corruption. The Italians are convicting people for paying bribes. We in India have blinkers on, saying doesn't matter if we took bribes, it's not relevant. And a court of law in Italy has found there is serious wrongdoing with regard to the VVIP chopper deal, and therefore it is only imperative that there is not an investigation but a relentless investigation into the transactions of the Indian side of the deal. Now, I saw enough, snitches, smiles, guffaws and acts of, disregard when we broke all these scams in the past. Point is, given what has happened in Italy, viewers, it is imperative that any political angle to the Indian side of the deal should be investigated thoroughly. You can't brush this under the carpet. Let Sanjay Hegde, Rahul Narwekar and MR Venkatesh take this forward. MR Venkatesh and Sanjay Hegde to start with. Sanjay Hegde and MR Venkatesh first MR and then Sanjay Hegde.
Let's take the facts
here. Okay, first Sanjay Hegde, then MR. Yeah, go on.
Let's take the facts here. Orsi was acquitted by the trial court. He has now today been convicted by...
Talk about the No, don't tell me about the trial court, because the case was reopened. Because the case was reopened on the 8th of April in a higher court. So don't fudge the facts. Don't fudge the facts. The case was reopened in a higher court. Say that. Say that. Say the case was reopened in a higher court.
I come here.
Don't go by a lower court.
I come here with facts.
But you can't talk about a lower court when the case is going on a higher court, Sanjay Hegde.
Today he has gone to a higher court. And
higher court has reopened the case and says there was corruption. Am I right or wrong? Has the higher court said there was corruption?
You're always wrong.
Has the higher court said there was corruption? Has the higher court says there was corruption? Yes or no?
The
yes
higher
or no?
court has today convicted him. He has an
That's
appeal.
right. Now you concede. You change your point now. So the case has been reopened in Italy. So accept that you were wrong. So accept that you were wrong.
You are supporting Italy.
Accept that you were wrong.
First time you are
Sanjay Hegde, the names of senior Indian politicians have come up in the judgment of an Indian court, of an Italian court in a case.
For the first time, you are supporting an Italian organization.
I am only concerned about the Italian angle. Yeah.
Italy was bad. Italy was bad for you all the time.
What's your problem? You have a problem if I mention Italy. I am only mentioning Italy. I am not mentioning any individual from Italy.
You always.
Why are you touchy about Italy? What's wrong if I mention Italy? If it had happened in France, I would have mentioned France.
So don't.
Why are you touchy about Italy? Why are you touchy about Italy? What's wrong about by mentioning Italy? Italy should not be mentioned. Italy is above board. Italian companies are above board. For God's sake, the Italians themselves are investigating the Italian companies.
You are supporting Italy.
I am saying as an Italian company, why are you touchy about it? I didn't mention Quattro-Chi.
For the first time, you are supporting Italy.
I am saying like Quattro-Chi, Giuseppe Orsi or Spaglioni or whatever his name is are all going to get away.
Let's get back to the facts. Let's get back to the facts.
Yeah, the facts will be open
Let's get back to the facts. Okay, now the first fact. Fact number one is that the appeal court has overturned his acquittal. He is entitled to an appeal. Fact number two.
What?
The point is that
wrong.
That has been said. No. All these are just witness statements. This is like saying that in a 161 statement in India, somebody said that some of the money was given to this anchor or that anchor. That's all. Nothing is proven. Thirdly,
after the 15th March 2008 note that was sent by Michael to Peter Hollett, this is the second time we are seeing the name of a senior Indian politician crop up as part of the case.
Inquisitorial system.
No, the names of senior Indian politicians have come up in a conviction judgment in which the former chief of Finmeccanica has been convicted for corruption. You want us, like the other media houses in this country, to put blinkers on and pretend this is not happening?
No.
You want us to black out the story?
Don't put blinkers on. You're
Venkatesh,
selectively Italian today. You're selectively Italian. Let's continue.
Targeting it. I have no special interest in Italians here.
No, yeah. Of course you don't have a special interest. We know that. We know that. Mr. Venkatesh has.
Arnab, let me come in.
Mr. Venkatesh has about Italians. We've just seen a tweet today morning on Italians. That's quite something.
Sanjay Hegde, you are confused.
You have people.
Sanjay,
you have people who are very fond of Italy.
No, Sanjay, you are a bit confused on the story. I have my facts on the story.
Sanjay, I did not say anything
I do
about
have my facts. I do have my facts. And the nation can know what the Italian court has said. It's all there on the net.
Well, you know, there's
it's all there on the net.
Yeah.
And
a lot is now going to come
all these names that
don't be nervous, Sanjay. Don't be nervous, Sanjay. It is going to come up.
No, I'm not nervous.
It is going to come up.
I don't represent anyone. I'm only pointing out your Italian selectiveness today.
Okay. Mr. Venkatesh.
No, Mr. Venkatesh, I don't tweet like you.
We take the debate forward.
I don't tweet like you.
Okay,
Amar. No personal attacks.
You tweet much worse.
No personal attacks, gentlemen.
Okay. Now let me tell you. India purchased choppers from Italy, fact confirmed. Then there was a court investigation.
The deal was cancelled, Amar. The deal was cancelled in 2014. Now Chopper
Why was it cancelled? Why was it cancelled?
No, please.
Why was it cancelled?
I didn't disturb you, Sanjay. Why are you getting so nervous? Why are you getting so nervous? I have not named anybody. I have not named the people who you defy.
Oh, go ahead, name it. Go ahead and name it. Go ahead and name it. It's all there on the net. Go ahead, name it. It's all there on the net.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
It's all there on the net. Please
don't worry. Don't be insecure.
Don't worry about it. I will do it.
I'm perfectly secure.
I don't take orders from you, Sanjay. I don't take orders from you like you take from the Congress party. I don't take orders from you.
Why are people getting touchy about Italy?
I'm not for the Congress party. I'm not for the Congress party. I am.
No, you are. You are a cheerleader. You are not a spokesperson. You are a cheerleader. So please keep quiet. Now listen.
I am anti-BJP. I am not for the Congress. I am against your kind of ideology, your kind of racist, superior ideology. Don't try this one. Don't try this one. Don't you ever, don't call me a congressman. I despise you. I despise your party. I despise your party. That's a different thing. I do not hold a candle.
Okay, let's go back to Augusta Westland. Let's go to Augusta Westland tonight. Let's go to Augusta Westland tonight. Gentlemen, be focused on the facts. Be focused on the facts. 1 minute. MR Venkatesh and Sanjay Hegde. We focused on the facts, and my question tonight is this. Let me try and moderate this. 1 minute, MR Venkatesh. Let me come in between this very convivial conversation between both of you on who's good and who's bad, and who's supporting Italy and who's not. I mean, why are we obsessed about Italy? Finmeccanica happens to be an Italian company. There's a person called Giuseppe Orsi who's an Italian. There's some Spaglioni who's an Italian. Ottavio Quattrocchi was an Italian. But then, for God's sake, that's got nothing to do with what we are discussing. It's circumstantial, it's interesting, and people will note with their own wisdom that there are Italian companies and Italian people. My point tonight is only this. My point
was Italian. When RSS went,
my question is not
all the way to
Rahul Narwekar, MR Venkatesh.
Mussolini was also Italian.
Rahul Narwekar
and RSS Munje went to Italy. Yes, so that is also Italian.
Rahul Narwekar, at the time when the central investigation agencies have demonstrated an alarming lethargy, to be ready for a trial in a court of law, senior Indian politicians and ex-government officials' names have cropped up in connection with a foreign court of law in a massive corruption scam, bigger than Bofors. Rahul Narwekar.
And there is no evidence.
Bigger, much bigger than Bofors. Much bigger than Bofors. Augusta Westland is much bigger than Bofors. You feel these questions are irrelevant? MR and Rahul Narwekar.
It will explode exactly the way
evidence provided by the Italian court is much bigger.
Rahul Narwekar.
Well, Arnab, I would like to make 2 quick points. Number 1. Your preliminary allegation against the UPA government was that they have suppressed information with regards to this corruption scandal. My answer to that is very simple. If the past UPA government has suppressed anything, what has stopped the present NDA government from coming out with whatever details that is at their command?
Good question.
Or which the Italian courts were looking out for. Number 2. The observations in the judgment of the Italian court or judiciary establish nothing with regards to who has taken a bribe or what kind of bribe has been given to any individual in India. These are observations based on certain evidences which were led before that court of law, which have absolutely no conclusive, corroborative, evidential value. Therefore, to conclude on the basis of those observations, which are in the nature of an obiter dicta, this is not a ratio descendi.
That is the problem.
This is not a ratio descendi.
The problem is it has enough evidence to start a detailed investigation. Now when the investigation will begin, Narwekar will say that it is not
you are a part of the jury. Like you are a part of that Italian jury.
No, I am not a part of the jury. You are declared people innocent even before naming. So what do I do? You and Sanjay are so clear that even before the party's name is coming out, you have said that the people are all innocent.
So much to
please understand. Now will you give me assurance? Tomorrow your party will not say vendetta.
Why don't you request the Narendra Modi
government party leaders will be investigated by CBI? Please give me that assurance.
What is stopping
that? Will you give that assurance when they will be taken to CBI, when they will be taken for custodial investigation? Your party should not say political vendetta. Are you clear about that? Are you saying that there is enough evidence even for an investigation now?
Okay, can I make a point here? 1 second before we get into
that is for your government to decide. That is for your government to decide.
Rahul Narwekar, you asked a question. I think Nalin wants to reply. You asked a question. I think Nalin wants to reply. Nalin, I think, wants to reply to Rahul Narwekar's question. But Rahul Narwekar, if you, I can completely understand. I can empathize. I can offer solace for your predicament tonight, Sanjay Hegde and Rahul Narwekar and Kumar Ketkar, but I must continue to pursue the facts. And the facts are
your line and agenda is known to all, so your sympathy hardly matters.
That's all. That's all. My question is, what explains? Okay, gentlemen, it's all right. You see, I'll tell you, if you're saying abusing me was to take away the Augusta Neta's case, it would do you good, but it's not. The fact is this. Sanjay Hegde, listen. Sanjay Hegde, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine.
Come.
Listen, what explains the fact that the then UPA government, despite a 568-page preliminary report on Augusta Westland given to the tribunal in Italy in July 2012, which specifically mentions the VVIP chopper deal in India, and even, for your kind information, names 3 Indians who were under the lens, the government of the UPA continued to live in constant denial over the issue. I mean, do we even consider, are you saying these facts were not known to the Manmohan Singh government, to the Congress government? However, Rahul's question is also relevant. Rahul asks you, Nalin Kohli, Rahul Narwekar asks you point blank, we didn't do anything. What on earth did you do? Now, this question is being asked you in the context of Robert Vadra. It's being asked you in the context of Augusta Westland. What is your intention? You don't want to do anything? You just want to issue the occasional soundbite or participate in a TV debate over it? Come on, Nalin Kohli, take up Rahul Narwekar's challenge, at least give him a clear reply. Because you are appearing to be very, very calm about his argument. Maybe you've conceded the case. Rahul
Mr. Goswami.
Yeah, go on, Nalin Kohli, go on.
No, I have not conceded. I'm just sitting quiet because in the beginning I had to give a tip on journalism, and now I feel I have to give a tip on communication. At least one person claims to be a pioneer, as the website says, pioneer in the field of communication. Communication is a two-way process. So I'm just listening. Now I'll communicate from verbal. Let's go one by one. Look how interesting it is. Not one of the people on the other side of this debate, which means has said, let the truth come out. And our question is, what is the NDA or the BJP government doing about it? We want the truth to come out. Not one of them is saying that, because obviously makes them nervous. Second is, look at the specious argument built.
Rahul said,
let me finish.
Okay, now, let me complete. Okay, what's it? Rahul is countering. Rahul is countering. No, what's it? Rahul is countering. 1 minute. Rahul is countering.
A court order.
Rahul is countering.
Mr. Kohli.
A conviction.
Let him counter. Let him counter.
Has been examined as the evidence.
No, Mr. Kohli, I know you would like to be the custodian of exposing the truth.
Mr. Narwekar, by getting blood pressures up, we won't get anywhere. No? So therefore, let me just finish my point. Then you say what you have to. I can't hear what you are saying, Mr. Narwekar. Because if you're going to shout me down, don't think it's going to have any value on me. I will finish my point. You have a counterpoint. You can then raise it. You can shout at me as much as you want. It doesn't register, because on this earpiece I can't make out what you're saying. So therefore, it doesn't bother me in any one bit.
Okay,
but the fact of the matter remains, you are in a piquant position, a troublesome position, that you are unable to say as an Indian citizen, I want the truth out.
That's what
you are unable to say that Orope was denied, the ammunition stocks were down to less than 10 days, and the Defence Ministry did not procure anything for the security of India, but was willing to procure 12 helicopters for VIPs because it involved a kickback.
Okay, listen.
So look at that. I'm making no excuses, Mr. Narwekar, and I'm least of all answerable to you. As far as our government is there, let the report be released. It's only come out in the newspaper. 225 pages, as the Economic Times has mentioned. What makes you believe that the government may not already be acquiring a copy of it? This is not a sleeping government.
Please investigate.
This is not a government that sleeps.
Please investigate.
This is not a government that sleeps. This government works. It promised OROP, it did it. It promised to spruce up the Defence Ministry procurement, it has.
You have to file an FIR.
It has ensured that people are getting work done. Only just to give an example of the power sector. In 13-14, 6 lakh LED bulbs were given under Piyush Goyal. Now 9 crore have been given. So don't tell us that we don't work.
Come on, Nalin Kohli, don't digress.
This Congress government couldn't have even 40 years open bank accounts
Minister for the Power Ministry on the program.
35,000 crores are there in 20 crore
Nalin Kohli, this is not about bulbs. And I want to let everyone just join me on the debate on Augusta Westland. My question to you tonight is, do you believe that the Augusta Neta's name should be coming out? And my question tonight is, and if someone can please pay attention to the few facts that I'm trying to present before them, I am presenting a couple of facts tonight, and Sanjay Hegde, you'll find this interesting. March 2013. A man called A.K. Antony stands up in Parliament, A.K. Antony, and says, in March 2013, the story broke. The government was embarrassed. The UPA government 6 camps down, couldn't afford a 7th. At that time, A.K. Antony said, my commitment to Parliament stands. I do feel somebody has taken money. I do feel somebody has taken money. We will not show mercy to anybody, however powerful he or she may be. Now what happened? In December 2012, in response, so by the way, Sanjay Hegde, you should take your words back. You should take your words back in describing our continuous series of investigative reports as a work of fiction. No, you should take it back right now on the program. Yeah.
I have never called you a work of fiction. I've only said.
That's what you insinuated. You should take it back now.
I didn't realize he had become a.
You should take it back now.
If I insinuate, you are putting words in my mouth. I have never called you a work of fiction.
BJP racism.
I may have called you a work of propaganda, but that's different.
No, 1 second. Was A.K. Antony doing propaganda when he said somebody has taken money and however powerful he or she may be, I will not protect that person?
A lawyer from India did go to jail in this very deal.
Now, in December 2012, in response to a BJP question in Parliament, the government had earlier denied having started any probe in the Chopper scam. So, December 2012, you said there is no investigation. In March 2013, you said somebody had taken money. We won't spare them, however powerful he or she may be. Okay, so the ones who have been exposed in this case was the then government. The Defence Ministry in a press release in early 2013, when the scam surfaced, suggested that the MOD did try to pursue the matter, but the Ministry of External Affairs was unable to obtain any information from Italy or Switzerland. Now my question is, tell me Sanjay Hegde, and think logically tonight, why wasn't a letter rogatory issued by a competent court here sent to them in 2012 when the news first broke? Instead of attempting to get the information to diplomatic channels, the government used the fact, Sanjay Hegde, that there was no information forthcoming when it did have another option available to access the information. You don't want to access the information. The information comes out on a news channel. It makes you uncomfortable. It makes you insecure. You start quoting and calling names. Now, for your kind information, the CBI did Chapter 8. Point 8.22 on complaints and source information states, Sanjay Hegde, for your kind information, that action on reports appearing in the press or media clearly show that the CBI can act on the basis of media reports. We reported this case. We got the threats from Finmechanica. Where was the government then? Where was the government then? When we were being threatened by Finmechanica, where was the government then? Where was the government then, you tell me? Where was the government then?
2014 to 2016. The government of India is one. Irrespective.
So take back what you said. We are very serious about our journalism, Sanjay Hegde, and we have followed this absolutely to the T.
Absolutely,
you know this case.
Absolutely. Now comes the question. Be as serious. Go after Nalin Kohli and ask him, why is the CBI still not?
If you've been unable to draw Nalin Kohli into that debate,
if you think,
okay, Nalin Kohli.
No. See, listen. The government of India is one.
Now let me answer this, Mr. Goswami.
It doesn't matter whether it's a BJP government or the government or a Congress government.
Mr. Goswami, I'll answer this straight.
The government of India is one.
I'm not running away from any debate.
Entity. It continues. So if
okay, quick counters. Quick counters.
Government has
okay, Nalin Kohli responding. Rahul Narwekar, Kumar Ketkar after that. Nalin Kohli, Rahul Narwekar, Kumar Ketkar, and
the government of India changes course. Yeah. I just pointed out all the examples of how many courses that under Prime Minister Narendra Modi this government has changed. So obviously,
Rahul Narwekar,
the court order has come. What makes you believe?
Does that satify you? That answer? Rahul Narwekar not convinced. Rahul Narwekar
passport that has been immediately so fast of anybody. So I mean, they are moving.
But when you keep alleging and don't come out with any
I want to also make one thing clear, Mr. Narwekar, just a minute. Mr. Narwekar, a request. Mr. Narwekar, I want to make one thing clear. We shouldn't insinuate about who could be the potential beneficiaries. No, hold on, let me finish. We shouldn't insinuate, Mr. Narwekar, this may interest you, since this is a point that you all are fighting to somehow say that nobody insinuates anything. So I'm making a point actually that you guys must be wanting to listen. We shouldn't insinuate.
In any of these scams, nothing at all. This government is known for making a big noise and delivering nothing.
I think Mr. Narwekar,
this is a big scam.
I'll answer that also. Mr. Narwekar, you need to pick up a class 8 civics book and just know the separation of the judiciary from the legislature and the executive. If you are asking a question how many convictions we have had, that question is better suited to the judiciary, not to me as the spokesperson of the BJP. And that a class 8 student would also tell you. It's just a matter of brushing up your civics.
The executive is in charge of carrying out primary investigation through their agencies, which you have failed
of the judiciary. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! You must take help from your friend and colleague, Mr. Sanjay Hegde, who's also fighting the same case for you. Mr. Sanjay Hegde would at least teach you the basics. No, I don't wish to indulge in teaching you anything, Mr. Narwekar, because I would not like to do it for another party person. But take help from Mr. Hegde. He's on the same side as you. None of you are asking. We want the truth to come out.
No, please go ahead and file a case.
I'm saying Mr. Hegde can teach you about the basics.
Another question is, and some of these questions we are raising need to be looked at. You see, in September 2015, and if the CBI is not able to handle it, if they need some analysis on this subject, they can ask us. We have done a fairly detailed job of following this story. In September 2015, a CBI court issued a non-bailable warrant against Christian Michael, and accused in this case, by the way, not an Italian, so somebody don't jump at me why you're taking on another Italian. I mean, for God's sake, he's not. I think he's British. And accused in the case who allegedly received kickbacks and now cannot be traced. What about the Indians named during court proceedings? Should their roles not be investigated? 6 years since this deal was cleared, and the defense minister accepted that he thinks money was taken. He said, I will spare nobody. Why was the case closed down?
Kumar Ketkar objected to further inquiries. Has Antony objected?
What did Antony do after that?
Names? Has anybody objected in the UPA, former UPA, that names should not be revealed?
Okay.
So let for 2 years.
Yeah. Well, I think we should be pulling up our socks right now.
BJP government.
Okay, MR is the last counter, and then we're closing.
And there is no moral argument on
why did Augusta die an uninvestigated death?
Does not have even moral standing because.
Does Mr. Ketkar, as an editor of a newspaper, say I want the truth to come out and I don't want any guilty person to be spared because I stand for the truth? Does he want to say it on the news or not?
In your government,
MR Venkatesh is
and I'm saying as blunt as that, does he have an iota of journalism in him to say here on the news?
Okay, watch it. We talk about Augusta West.
I want the truth to come out and I don't want the guilty to be spared.
And you are talking about morality.
1 second, MR Venkatesh, last counter and then we close.
Prime Minister, what RSS, what all that? Do you as a journalist, Mr. Ketkar, have a shred of your thing?
MR and Rahul Narwekar, then we close. MR and Rahul Narwekar, then we close. MR and Rahul Narwekar, please.
And I don't care who is involved in the truth.
Last 1 minute of the debate. Should the Augusta Neta's names be revealed one by one? We put part 1 of the story today. Actually, part 1 was in 2012.
At least rise to the occasion as a journalist.
Rahul Narwekar, MR Venkatesh, and then we close.
Maybe in the past, I'm not aware.
Rahul
on the show, you can tell the
MR and Rahul. MR, please. And then Rahul, closing the debate 30 seconds from now. Overtime now. Yes, MR Venkatesh.
Arnab, there are names in this report or the order of the judgment of the Italian High Court. Now let Mr. Kumar Ketkar, Rahul Narwekar and Sanjay Hegde give an assurance. If the Indian authorities Rahul Narwekar take assurance today on the prime time today, that should the government of India take action on the names available in the judgment of the Italian High Court, tomorrow in prime time they should not come and say this is political vendetta. Yeah. Government of India is taking political mileage out of it. They should
point
say
made response, then we close.
Let the CBI
point made response, then we close. Point made response and then we close. You asked your question. You're getting an answer, sir.
Right now.
You're getting an answer, sir, and the answer is only from Rahul.
At that time and say that this is political vendetta. Let them give an assurance to the country now. I want an assurance now.
Go ahead.
Rahul, I want an assurance from you. I want an assurance from you that if the government takes some severe action. Does custodial interrogation of the people involved. Please understand.
Go ahead.
I am not running the government. If the government has to take.
Of course you are.
Sir, I am not like you. I am not a cheerleader. I told you. I don't want to talk to you. I am telling a very simple fact. If the government is going to take an action, both of you should not come and say, oh my lord, this.
Okay, closing with Rahul's intervention.
No, I will
closing with Rahul's intervention.
You will cry. You will be hurt.
Rahul Narwekar.
Your leaders will be behind bars. I assure you.
Rahul Narwekar,
Sanjay,
Rahul Narwekar, quick point from Rahul.
This is a very hot summer for you guys. I will assure you that your people will. No, we are going ahead. You don't have to take action.
Rahul's turn, quickly. MR, time up. Rahul Narwekar is responding to you now. Be quiet, please.
We will go by the law. We have got enough evidences and we will prosecute all those people.
MR Venkatesh, time up. Rahul Narwekar replied. Then we close over time. Augusta Netas hashtag tonight. Do you want the names of the Augusta Netas to be out? That's the question I'm putting to you. And Rahul Narwekar gets 10 seconds to reply. Everyone else down. Rahul Narwekar.
Mr. M.R. Venkatesh, people like you shout the most when they don't have any sense or anything to talk about that makes sense.
No, sir, you are telling me what is Kumar Ketkar and Sanjay Hegde.
Okay, now keep quiet.
And you are telling me
keep quiet. Just keep mum. We've had enough of your nonsense.
The same thing. Rajiv did the same thing.
Continue, Rahul.
Sir, you tell me now. You give an assurance that you will tomorrow.
Mr. M.R. Venkatesh, when did the NDA government of the day start bothering about what the parties in opposition said? This is news to me that investigations are carried out by the NDA
closing the debate.
Based on what
closing the debate
has to say.
Closing the debate.
If you have the guts, come out with the truth. Every time you are put the question, you point fingers at the opposition, saying that the opposition will cry foul. I challenge you today to come out with whatever truth that you have at your command, because you have none.
At that point in time.
Okay, we're closing the debate. And viewers, do you think the Augusta Neta's name should come out? But more importantly than that, should there be a Supreme Court monitored investigation into Augusta Westland case? If you have nothing to hide, let it be done. Let's not pretend there was no corruption. There was corruption. Money was paid. Money was paid by an Italian company to Indians. Now, there's nothing wrong if we reopen the case. We'll follow the story here on Times Now.
That's the question.
I thank you all for joining me on debate number 2 on the Newshour tonight.